In the country crowned the social media capital of the world, where every scroll shapes culture and every post starts a conversation, what happens when queer identity steps into the spotlight unapologetically? This isn't just about likes, it's about legacy. Because here, a single photo can start a movement, a caption can change lives, and one bold Filipino celebrity, once hidden in symmetry, decided to post his truth and never look back. Meet Raymond Gutierrez. In a world that prizes symmetry, in faces, in families, and fame, Raymond Gutierrez was born a role model. A twin, a legacy name, and a seemingly preordained path. But instead of following the script, Raymond flipped it. He didn't just break the mold, he melted it down and created something entirely his own. For years, he lived on the glossy pages of magazines, the flashing lights of talk shows, and the curated glamour of Filipino celebrity culture. He was handsome, he was articulate. He was a regular host of red carpet events and product launches. But behind the tailored suits and perfect lighting, there was something people didn't see, because he wasn't ready to show it. Not yet. Raymond came out in 2021, not through scandal or tabloid leaks, but with purpose and grace. "I am proud to be a member of the LGBTQ+ community," he declared in an extraordinary interview. His voice calm but firm, the kind of firmness that only emerges after years of silence. In that moment, a country raised on traditional masculinity met a version of masculinity it had never been taught to love: sexy, emotional, and fiercely self-assertive. And Raymond, he didn't ask for permission to be that man. He simply was. But his queerness wasn't showy. It was styled, subtle, artful. On Instagram, he was the picture of bold softness, the mesh tops, the brows, the jawline shaped with confidence. He shared photos with his boyfriend, fitness trainer Robert William, not as a statement, but as a fact. A relationship lived to the fullest, not for show, but for who you are. "When you're true to yourself," he once wrote, "you attract everything to you." The post wasn't just a caption. It was a love letter to all the closeted teens out there, surfing the web all night, praying that one day they could do the same. What makes Raymond stand out isn't just the coming out, it's the consequences. He hasn't retreated. He's opened up. He's spoken out on podcasts, hosted pride events, joined conversations about body image, masculinity, and queer identity in the Philippines. He's turned the spotlight on issues that people don't want to look at, because that's what real presence is. Not just being seen, but making others feel seen. Today, Raymond's radiance comes from within, from the peace of not hiding, from the power of being authentic. And in a region that still struggles to define who deserves to be seen, he's proof that queer success isn't a contradiction, it's a celebration. Drop a note if Raymond Gutierrez reminds you that your truth doesn't have to be shouted to shine. Sometimes it just needs to be expressed, unapologetically, beautifully, and ultimately, freeingly. Markki Stroem is more than just a pretty face on Philippine television. He is a handsome gay man who brings artistry, edginess, and authenticity to an industry that often prefers silence over truth. From the moment he stepped onto the Filipinas Got Talent stage, Markki has been a quiet force. A man with a velvet voice and a look that makes cameras linger. But what really sets him apart isn't just talent, it's courage. In an entertainment world that rarely accepts flexibility, Markki didn't play it safe, he lived his truth. After years of speculation, Markki came out, not through a dramatic press conference or a viral coming out post, but through his art. He took on roles that others were afraid to play. In the controversial film Unlocked, he plays a gay man grappling with isolation and desire during the pandemic. The scenes are raw, vulnerable, and sexy. And yes, he has faced backlash. But his answer is simple: I'm an artist. I tell meaningful stories. Whether he's strutting the red carpet in a tailored suit or performing at jazz clubs with a calm gaze, Markki exudes a free-spirited gay masculinity. He's not trying to fit into any mold. He's rewriting all the rules. Behind the scenes, Markki is also a fierce advocate for mental health and queer visibility. He regularly uses his platform to speak out about LGBTQ discrimination and youth, and what it means to live fully and freely. "People say I'm brave," he shared in an interview, But I'm just tired of hiding, and if my story helps others stop hiding, then I've done my job. His social media is a beautiful mix of steamy photos, nostalgic jazz sessions, and unabashed self-love. One viral post shows him shirtless, lounging on a velvet sofa with the caption, "Comfort is gay, power is gay, me too." As expected, the internet briefly crashed. But Markki's influence goes beyond the aspirational traps and applause. He represents a generation of gay Filipino men who are no longer asking for permission. They're just living. This year, he'll be starring in a film centered on the LGBT community. This time, he'll delve into themes of coming of age, legacy, and chosen family. And if his past work is any indication, it will once again challenge hearts, minds, and even the norms of mainstream media. Because Markki Stroem doesn't just play a role. He embodies resilience, grace, and a rare quiet confidence that says, "Yes, I am here, and I am exactly who I am meant to be." Leave a comment if his story makes you feel more seen, more proud, or just a little more ready to own who you are. Paolo Pangilinan didn't need a blockbuster, a viral scandal, or a public performance to become a gay icon in the Philippines. Just a role, quiet, strong, and unabashedly gentle, and the courage to live fully, both on screen and off. He rose to fame with the BL phenomenon Gaya sa Pelikula, in which he played Carl, an architecture student who slowly falls in love with his male roommate. But what made the film unforgettable wasn't just the plot. It was the quiet magic of ordinary life. No tragic deaths, no caricatures, just gentle, slow-burning love encapsulated in Filipino culture, in the awkward glances, the silent moments, and the painful beauty of coming out. For millions of gay Filipinos watching from behind closed doors, Carl was more than a character. He was them. And Paolo? He wasn't just playing a role. He became the role model they didn't know they needed. What no one expected was that Paolo would be just as open in real life. As one of the few openly gay actors in Filipino showbiz, he entered the industry without editing, without ambiguity, and without fear. No PR stunts, no ambiguous labels, just Paolo. In interviews, he's never tried to dodge the topic. Instead, he speaks with a calm confidence that feels both refreshing and radical. In a region where queer stars are still often told to tone it down. Presence doesn't always have to be shouting, he once said. Sometimes it's just standing still and refusing to hide. And that's exactly what sets him apart. He doesn't push. He doesn't pose, he simply exists, with grace, conviction, and a strength that whispers louder than any headline. And did we mention he's a licensed physician? Yes, the man who melts hearts on screen is also saving lives. Brains and beauty. He's used his unique position to champion LGBTQ+ rights, mental health, and HIV awareness in the Philippines, all with the same sincerity he brings to every role. His fashion sense? A natural. You'll find him in flowy, gender-neutral pieces, oversized shirts, or the occasional see-through outfit. In a Pride editorial last year, he wore a sheer Tagalog barong embroidered with the words "Live Strong," and fans went wild. But it wasn't just the outfit, it was the intention. Every appearance, every photo, every choice is a quiet rebellion wrapped in elegance. And perhaps that is Paolo's greatest strength. He has very little to prove, and he simply is himself. While the world still demands that gay people explain themselves, he refuses to listen to that question. He just shows up, whole, free, light. And that lightness, it's not weakness, it's resistance. In 2025, he's embarked on new independent projects, films that focus on gay identity in the Filipino diaspora. No mainstream gloss, no corporate filter, just authentic stories. And his fans, they're ready. Because Paolo Pangilinan reminds us of something rare in queer storytelling. Silence can be brave, tenderness can be powerful, and beauty doesn't have to be shouted to be seen. You'll never forget the first time you saw Sinon Loresca. He didn't just strut, he strode, in sky-high heels, with a smile as bright as a lion, wearing only one outfit, and maybe a mesh tank top that made the world turn its heads. And spoiler, they didn't. Sinon didn't want the crown. He earned it with every confident stride he took through the chaotic streets of Manila and the digital world. Dubbed King of the Runway, Sinon shot to global fame after a video of him striding, yes, just striding in stilettos, exploded on the internet like wildfire. But it wasn't just the striding, it was the why. A gay man. With muscles. In heels, in public. Taking up space the world told him he couldn't take. It was wild. It was fierce. It was freedom in motion. Born in Bacolod, raised in poverty, Sinon's life wasn't easy. He knew hunger. He knew judgment. He knew what it was like to be told he was too much, too loud, too feminine, too real. But instead of shrinking, he got louder, taller, brighter, and then he became famous. But viral fame wasn't his goal. It was presence. He became powerful, not just as a gay man, but as a power, and not in the polished, photoshopped kind the media favors. Sinon sweated, and that's what made him revolutionary. While others tiptoe, he stomps. While some whisper, he roars. On Instagram, you'll find him dancing shirtless in 6-inch heels, lifting weights in a tutu, blowing kisses under a disco ball in broad daylight. And guess what? He dares you to judge him. But behind the glitz is resilience. Sinon has been open about growing up poor, battling body image discrimination, and learning to love himself in a world that didn't teach him that. He's been bullied, teased, ridiculed, both online and in person. And yet he's still here, still walking, still winning, still shining. He once said, "I walk for everyone who's ever been told to sit down," and that's exactly what he does. Every step, every turn, every weird and wonderful turn on the sidewalk becomes a form of protest. And not just for himself, for all the queer kids out there. Sinon isn't trying to be relatable, he's trying to be unforgettable. And maybe that's the kind of courage we all need a little more of. The kind of courage that doesn't ask, "Is this too much?" but instead asks, "Why can't we do more?" In recent years, Sinon has been making new content that combines fitness, fashion, and queer power. He's designing heels, he's hosting dance classes, he's speaking at pride events. And through it all, he's reminding people that beauty doesn't need permission, it just needs space. So the next time you see someone walking around confidently like they own the world, maybe they do. And who knows, just maybe, they learned something from Sinon. Which power symbol of the day inspired you the most? Rebel, romantic, or royal in heels? Leave a comment. If you've been following the rise of the BL genre in the Philippines, you've seen a shift. Not just in the way the stories are told, but also in who's telling them. And Kokoy de Santos? He's one of the brightest stars in this new gay wave. Kokoy suddenly came to public attention through his breakout roles in Game Boys 2 and Love at the End of the World, two gay series that not only made waves in the country, but also spread to fans across Asia and beyond. But it's not just the roles that have caught our attention. It's the way Kokoy plays them, so natural, bold, and emotional. Audiences were immediately drawn to his soft eyes, his mischievous smile, and the way he made his romantic lines feel poignant and relatable. He didn't act like he was playing gay, he was simply being himself. And in a media landscape where gay roles are often overplayed or ridiculed, Kokoy's performance was a breath of fresh air. In interviews, Kokoy has been open about his support for the LGBTQ+ community, including his deep respect for fans who support BL stories. While he has never come out, his support has always been genuine and powerful. "Love is love," he once said. "I'm honored to tell these stories, and I know how important they are." Social media loves him for his versatility. One minute, he's on full-on glam, with sheer fabrics, pearls, soft lighting. The next, he's casually dressed, unadorned, laughing in the car with his co-stars. Kokoy knows how to transition from boy next door to undeniable star with ease. And that's part of the magic. He's making headlines again after being cast in a new gay-centric series, set to debut on the global streaming platform The Role, where he plays a bisexual musician navigating love, fame, and gender identity. Early trailers show steamy moments, emotional monologues, and yes, Kokoy himself sings. Fans are already going crazy for him. But behind the camera, Kokoy is thoughtful, down-to-earth, and deeply aware of the cultural impact of his work. He shares how portraying queer love has changed the way he views masculinity, emotions, and storytelling in general. "We're not just acting," he said in an interview. "We're breaking down stereotypes that have been around for years." Kokoy is also one of a growing number of actors in the Philippines who are breaking the notion that queer stories are niche. His work is proof that these stories can be mainstream, romantic, dramatic, and yes, sexy, and still incredibly respectful. Because Kokoy de Santos is helping to shape a future where openness, tenderness, and visibility are not just accepted, they're celebrated. Leave 3 comments if popularity has convinced you that gay love stories deserve attention. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more important voices. BJ Pascual never intended to be a star in front of the camera, but sometimes, when your truth is clear enough, there's no hiding it. He started his career as one of the most sought-after fashion photographers in the Philippines. You've seen his work everywhere. From epic photo shoots to magazine launches, from red carpet moments to high-end fashion portraits, his images are always unique. Bold, sophisticated, radiant. BJ has a way of making his subjects not only beautiful, but iconic. But somewhere along the way, BJ's story has become just as compelling as the stories he captures through his lens. He came out as gay at a time when few men in Philippine fashion or media were out. And instead of hiding behind the scenes, BJ came out. He wasn't just a creative, he was a public gay man. One who was confident in his own skin and even more confident in his style. What makes BJ Pascual stand out isn't just the fact that he's gay. It's how he's turned that identity into his superpower. From candid interviews to genderless fashion, BJ lives up to his truth with pride and authenticity. On Instagram, his personal page is a sophisticated blend of elegance and individuality. Think all-black crop tops, pearls on bare skin, genderless suits with smoky eyeliner. It's not just fashion, it's a statement. And what's that message? I won't shrink to fit your comfort. He also uses his platform to advocate for LGBTQ+ visibility, body positivity, and mental health. One of his most powerful posts? A bare-faced selfie with the caption, "This is me. No filter, no fear." It went viral for all the right reasons. In 2021, BJ made headlines again, this time not for a photo shoot, but for love. He went public with his relationship with fitness trainer Markki Stroem. It wasn't a promotional moment, it was something more tender. 2 men holding hands, smiling in the sun. It wasn't just sweet, it was truly special. "We're here. We love each other. We're not hiding. I spent years hiding behind the scenes because I didn't think I deserved to be in the spotlight," he later shared in an interview. "Now I know better. Gay joy deserves to be seen." Since then, BJ has spoken at Pride panels, LGBTQ+ forums, and creative conferences, sharing his story not just as a photographer, but as a voice for LGBTQ+ visibility. His message has always been clear. Be present, be proud, be strong if you want to be, but most of all, be yourself. Today, he's more than just a photographer. He's a style icon, an icon of strength, a quirky, unconventional, unyielding soul. Because BJ Pascual didn't just photograph the stars, he became one of them. Vote number 6, if BJ's intelligence makes you feel less scared. When you first meet Quizon on screen or online, it's hard not to smile. He has a natural charm, a youthful smile, a warm and gentle voice, a kind of charisma that is both safe and attractive. But don't let his sweet exterior fool you. Quizon is one of the strongest voices representing young, gay energy in the Philippines today. Sky first came to national attention when he participated in Pinoy Big Brother, where he was introduced as the pillar of the Numpanga family. From the start, his gentle yet confident appearance caught the eye. But it was his authenticity, emotional openness, intelligence, and empathy that kept viewers coming back. He wasn't just there to win, he was there to connect. What fans didn't expect was how gracefully and honestly Sky embraced his homosexuality in public life after leaving PBB. While many of his male housemates faded away after the reality show, Sky used his platform to delve deeper into hosting, vlogging, and eventually advocacy. On social media, he began sharing his thoughts on gender expression, mental health, body confidence, and LGBTQ plus rights in a way that was rare for male celebrities in the Philippines. Despite not explicitly labeling, Sky was clear in his message. I believe in unconditional love. I believe in freedom. And I believe that everyone deserves to be themselves without fear. It's this quiet courage that has made Sky Quizon a prominent figure in the Filipino gay media. He doesn't always wave the rainbow flag the loudest, but his presence alone, calm and consistent, is revolutionary in a culture where toxic masculinity still reigns supreme. And yes, he's a real man too. Sky has become a low-key fashion icon in the making. On the red carpet, he pairs soft pastels with clean cuts. On Instagram, he's always dressed in clean, crop tops, high-waisted pants, and the occasional subtle glam look. It's not flashy, but it's all intentional. It's masculinity redefined, and his fans are obsessed. He went viral again after posting a video with the caption, "Wear what you want, say what you feel, love who you love." The video shows him dancing freely in an oversized shirt and pearls, laughing with friends on a rooftop. The comments are filled with comments like, "Thank you for being yourself." He proves that gay pride doesn't always have to be loud to be felt. Because in every quiet smile, every flowing outfit, every post about honesty and self-worth, Sky reminds us that being true to ourselves can be a quiet rebellion. And a beautiful rebellion. Give me points if Sky's courage makes you feel the same way. From actors and artists to photographers and digital icons, these stars are proving that the LGBTQ plus presence in the Philippines is stronger, bolder, and more beautiful than ever. Their stories are about more than just fame. They also spoke about truth, courage, and the power of being seen for who you are. In a world that often tells LGBTQ plus people to shrink, they chose to step out, to take up space, to dance in pearls, to speak from the heart, to love wholeheartedly, and remind us all that pride is more than a parade. It's a daily decision to be bold. So, which story touched you the most today? Who made you feel more proud to be your authentic self? Leave their number in the comments. We read them all. And let us know where you're watching from, because the more we celebrate LGBTQ plus icons in the Philippines, the more space we create for the next generation to shine. Stay strong, stay proud, and we'll see you again in the next episode of Rainbow Vibes. The face looks familiar, and it does. Paolo Ballesteros has probably appeared on your screen in all sorts of guises, from Beyoncé to Mariah, from Kim Kardashian to Katy Perry. But here's the catch, it's not a drag show. It's just Paolo, his paintbrush, his talent, and a mirror. And with each transformation, he's more than just a face. He challenges everything you thought you knew about masculinity, beauty, and performance. Born into a culture where gay identity is still hidden behind polite whispers and a masculine facade, Paolo decided he wasn't going to play the game. He was going to redesign the rules. While most actors champion the straight male lead, he embraced the opposite, and more. His drag character, Lola, isn't a gimmick. She's a mirror, a question, a red-lipped revolution. Long before RuPaul's Drag Race became a global phenomenon, Paolo was appearing on Philippine lunchtime television. Yes, on Eat Bulaga, that most traditional of family variety shows. And there he was, cheekbones painted, heels shoved in, gender swapped to submission, right in front of his lunchtime aunties and uncles, and people loved it. His 2016 film Die Beautiful wasn't just a box office hit, it was a cultural earthquake. Paolo plays a transgender woman who wishes to be buried as a different celebrity every day after she dies. Sound melodramatic? Yes, but it's also heartbreakingly honest. The film not only won him the Best Actor award at the Tokyo International Film Festival, it also sparked long-delayed conversations about transgender identity, familial rejection, and the dignity of gay people after death. And Paolo? There he was in his evening gown, holding that award like a trophy. But behind the wig and lashes was a man quietly courageous in a different way. Paolo didn't like labels. He never came out on the rooftops about. But he didn't hide it either. He expressed it. Through his art, his choices, his lack of restraint. "I don't explain myself," he once said. "I just express myself." And maybe that was enough. Online, Paolo's personal page is a whirlwind of sexiness and strength. Today, he's barefaced in joggers. The next day, he's Lady Gaga reborn. Each post is a reminder that gender is fluid, drag is resistance, and confidence is a superpower. He's not trying to fit in, he's trying to stand out, and invites you to do the same. So here's the question. Paolo Ballesteros can turn a midday show into a runway for the wonders of the LGBT community. So what's stopping the rest of us from expressing ourselves in the boldest ways? Comment below. Who's your favorite chameleon of authenticity and glamour? And when you're ready, try that color you've always been afraid to wear. Paolo will do it. First of all, yes, Prince is his real name. And no, he wasn't born into royalty, unless you count being crowned one of the most handsome men in Philippine showbiz as a birthright. With his soulful eyes, chiseled abs, and a smile that could charm aunties on a Sunday mass schedule, Prince Stefan is every casting director's dream. But in a world where mat-time idol is often synonymous with straight by default, Prince decided to flip the script. He didn't come out of the closet in glitter and confetti. No viral announcement, no Netflix documentary. Just a quiet confirmation in 2016 that caused a stir simply because no one expected it from someone who looks like him. And that's exactly why it matters. For the first time, a man with a muscular body, a chiseled jawline, and a legion of devoted female fans is saying, "Yeah, I'm gay." And still sexy, by the way. Before coming out, Prince Stefan had made a name for himself in soap operas, indie films, and as one of GMA's heartthrobs. He could cry on demand, kiss on camera, and take his shirt off like it was a public service. He played the classic Filipino love interest, intense, melancholy, and definitely a good fit for his leading lady. And he did it so convincingly that no one questioned it. That's what made his story so compelling. Not because he was hiding it, it was because no one saw it coming. Maybe they just didn't care. But here's the thing. After coming out, Prince didn't turn to serious gay roles or become a public figure for social causes. No, he just kept going. He occasionally did projects, posted poetically about his thirst for love, and showed the world that being queer doesn't always come with a clear purpose. Sometimes it just happens. He once joked in an interview that the hardest part about being gay in showbiz was pretending to fall for the leading ladies when the one he really liked was the sound guy. That kind of relatable humor was Prince's secret weapon. He didn't have to be the loudest, he didn't have to be the most radical. He just had to be himself, which, it turns out, was enough to make people stop, smile, and rethink their assumptions. Online, he's both mysterious and carefree. One moment he posts moody black and white selfies with Lana Del Rey lyrics. Another moment, he's shirtless in a rice field for no apparent reason. It's that vibe. Naturally seductive, emotionally elusive, and undeniably queer in a way that doesn't require permission or explanation. Prince Stefan isn't here to be your hero. He's here because the truth tastes better than fear. And if that truth happens to be wearing linen pants and glowing in natural light, well, we're not complaining. Nico Santos didn't enter Hollywood with a big name, a six-pack, or an A-list agent. He arrived in America from the Philippines at age 16, barely speaking English, living in a closet, awkward, and working in a dressing room at Ross. That's right, before the red carpet, before the Emmys, before the designer tuxedos, he was just the new kid trying to go unnoticed. But Nico had a secret weapon. He was funny. Not just classy clown funny, but sharp, observant, and painfully timely. And eventually it became clear he wasn't meant to be a closet room guy. He was born to own the stage. But let's rewind. Growing up in a conservative Filipino family was a tough life. Add immigration, loss of identity, and the pressure to fit in, and you have a cocktail of anxiety that most people wallow in. Nico? He turned it into material, pain into humor, trauma into timing. Every little insult, every awkward silence at the dinner table, every "you don't look gay" or "you don't act Asian," he collected it all, like receipts. And one day, he turned those receipts into a script. And Hollywood finally listened. Nico's breakout role was Mateo, the hilariously straightforward character in Superstore. A character who, in lesser hands, might have been a joke. But for Nico, Mateo became a mirror for immigrants, for gay people, for anyone who has ever felt like they had to switch languages just to get through the day. He played the character boldly, edgily, and with humanity. And fans around the world saw something they rarely see on primetime television. A gay Asian man who wasn't dying, crying, or delivering food. He was just existing, loud, gorgeous, undeniably himself. Nico was fearless in real life too. He's been open about being an illegal immigrant as a teenager, about how his mother didn't initially fully accept his sexuality, and about losing his fiancée to COVID-19 just days before the 2020 Emmy Awards. In that heartbreaking public moment, he stood on stage not with showmanship, but with courage. He didn't just represent diversity. He embodied resilience. But don't mistake his vulnerability for weakness. Nico is one of those rare artists who can make you laugh, cry, and get choked up all at once. Whether he's criticizing racism in the film industry or looking impeccably red carpet ready in a scarlet velvet gown, he's always struck the right balance between glamour and power. And unlike so many, he's not trying to fit into Hollywood. He's shaping it. Today, Nico is a beacon for gay Asian men who've silenced themselves, for immigrants who've been told they'll never belong, for anyone who's ever thought that being too different means being alone. Nico proves that being different isn't a burden, it's how you walk in. So let us ask you this. Who surprised you the most today? Who made you feel like your story really matters? Leave their phone numbers in the comments and don't forget to let us know where you're watching from. Because the more we celebrate Filipino queer icons like Nico Santos, the more the next generation will be empowered to speak up. Thank you for sticking with us. You made it all the way to the end. And trust us, it means a lot. These stories are bold, raw, but what's next? Even more memorable. So if you're ready for what's next, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned, because Rainbow Vibes just keeps getting better. Thanks for watching.